Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Productions. Today I, Bancroft, being joined once again by Jake, Austin, and like always, Fluff.
What's going on, y'all?
What up?
What's up, people?
And today we have an interesting matchup. I finally put together my 21 deck. I'm still in the testing form. There's a few more things I wanted to change on it, but I'm liking the approach of it so far. And Fluff, you're playing Gogeta today.
Yeah, I got to test this deck a lot online, and I'm actually loving this deck. So fun. It's so good. And for anyone watching, I did kind of set my life half off the screen for you guys. I will end up readjusting that, I think, in the second turn or so.
So yeah, you definitely have more than 2 life.
Yeah, I noticed it's where it's at. I'm like, that's not a line, and I just kind of scooted it over. But like always, there's buttons. Click them, please. They're there for a reason. And let's get into this. We know what 21 does, but Gogeta, that's new to the channel.
Yeah, Gogeta is, I would say, one of the most consistent decks right now. For multiple reasons. As you can see there, activate main, you get to burst 5 into your warp. And you want the Kai, Goku, Vegetas, and Pycons to hit your warp. So I hit a Kai and a Pycon. So I'll get to play my Unison for free. You bottom deck the Kai to play out the Pycon from your warp or hand. So you get to play out the Pycon, and then basically it's a Union Fusion, 1-drop spam type of deck. So I'm running stuff like Black Mass Saiyan, the Catastrophic Premonition, and I can't remember what the other ones are called. But it's the 2 1-drop Goku Zenos and Vegeta Zenos.
It was very interesting. So we had a chance to play this the night before, and I had kind of an idea of what to go against, and you played against 21 plenty of times, so you kind of knew my idea is just to ramp and go and go and play something big. The Pycon, I remember when we were going originally, you're like, I never really used the -3, have no reason for it. And you'll see in this match, I tend to attack it, even though I know you won't do that effect, because it's better than you getting a resource, and it stops you from boosting your battle cards.
Yeah, this Pycon, the Pycon Unison, is a bunch of smoke and mirrors for the deck. So the deck isn't terribly defensive on its own. Like, I think I only run 3 negates in the entire deck. I run a couple blockers. And the deck does keep a fairly consistent high hand size. But the Unison just ends up absorbing attacks. And I didn't pay anything to play the Unison, so I don't really care. And on your Android 13, you're having to combo a card to hit it.
It's
which
18.
I'm fine with. What is it?
It's 18. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's nothing big, nothing important. It was going to be gone eventually anyways.
Right. But, my thought is you're comboing those out now. Those are less combo pieces in your hand during the turns that it matters.
For sure.
So I'm kind of okay with that. And I do have a way to get another Kai into the warp. With this deck, it's a lot of sequencing. You have to sequence correctly with this deck. Because you can burst 5. So there I hit a Goku and Vegeta. And it's not a bad idea to get a couple Gogeta targets in there, because I do run the 6-drop SS4 Goku Overwhelm that lets you add a battle card with energy cost between 3 and 7 from your warp back to your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So I can use that as kind of a reservoir of Gogetas later. The problem in my hand right now is that I don't have Gogetas.
Yeah.
So the leader gets a draw per Union Fusion, which really moves the deck. And I know if I put a 1-drop out, you're just going to send it back to my hand. So it's almost not even worth wasting the energy right now.
Yeah.
I know what your deck wants to do. And I know right now I'm relatively safe from being killed.
Oh, yeah.
I wish...
Oh, yeah, that's certainly in the game. 21 can't really do too much to kill you. Like, there are some cards it's got that can provide pressure, but not with Bancroft's current energy setup.
Well, actually, I'm thinking of working on a deck that actually focuses on the free play cards by getting rid of tokens. Because with that 16 on the board, your opponent takes or gains 4 tokens per turn. And using the cards that to spam the board by removing tokens, it's not a bad idea for an early push on a 21 deck.
Yep. Very true.
So here I'm just comboing out Kai's because I'm going to Overwhelm. So to put those in the Warp, which will let me replay my Pycon. Yep. The Trunks is another fantastic target because I get to draw 2 cards, then Warp a card in my hand. So I can Warp a Goku, Vegeta, Kai, or Pycon in my hand. Mm-hmm. The deck pretty much uses the Warp as a second hand here. And 21 is really good because of that Android 21 scheme, which keeps your first battle card from being played. It keeps it from being able to attack.
Yeah.
So here you're like, nah, I'm going to counterplay that. And that's okay. I'm pretty much all right with that. I know that I have to just muscle through this the best I can.
Here it is.
Yeah, there's the correction. But I know that I have to muscle through your counters one way or the other.
Yeah.
I can still awaken. I haven't awakened yet. I can't awaken yet because I'm only at 4 or 5 life. I think I've got to be at 4 to do it. But I know I'm still relatively safe by comparison. So I'm kind of okay with getting that counterplayed. It does suck losing the Goku and Vegeta to the drop area, but
I will say the reason why I actually did that was because you tapped out for it.
Yeah.
And that way, I think I had another 16 in my hand, and I knew I could be able to play it without you having to counterplay it then.
Yeah. And I think I have a Super Kamehameha in hand, but I'm not at 4 life yet.
Yeah.
So I can't activate it.
Like I said, that was the only reason why I did that.
And Bancroft, that is not the order you want to see those cards.
No.
You would much rather see Restoration first and then the Android.
Actually, in my second game, I got hit with a double strike, and I pulled 2 of those into my hand. I'm like, cool. So I was able to negate those in my second game to get my energy ramp. But I don't think I saw them at all against Fluff.
Oh, no.
Well, except for the one that's in my energy, obviously.
Restoration is such a hot and cold card because at times it is so powerful, and at other times it is a overpriced dimension magic.
Yes.
Yeah. If you notice there, Bancroft again wasted another 2 attacks killing the Pycon instead of going at my life, which that would have let me awaken, but I want to awaken during my turn. So that was another benefit. It was another Pycon that I didn't spend energy to play that he wasted 2 attacks into. I'm kind of also in the position where his Android 13 has, I believe, 8 markers on it right now.
Yes.
And
you made you made the comment in match like, what?
Yeah, I was basically resolving myself. I am definitively going to be dealing with a double strike at some point this game. So I might as well get ready for it and do what I can.
Yep. And the reason why I didn't really push into your life, because if I'm correct, your leader takes a life naturally. Like, yeah, that's how you lost a life.
It does.
I wasn't ready for you to get more resources, so I figured if I would have hit you with 2 regular attacks, you could have taken them, awaken, and just had those resources there for future plays. Instead, I was like, I need to push this game a little bit longer until I'm ready to go off.
It just lets me set the pace.
Yeah.
By letting me awaken. Sorry, go on, Ed Austin.
No, you're fine. I interrupted you. One thing I really like, I like unisons that don't require you to have them out to win. You know, they're very good and they help the deck run smoother, but they're not needed because there's some decks I've played where I'm like, man, I need this unison so bad. Like, I need it, and I hate decks like that because it's so much harder to defend a unison than it is like a battle card or something.
Yeah. Yep. And you know, the Pycon is really great. The Pycon does a lot, but basically because of the way that I had everything set up, I know at any point that I want a Pycon, I have one.
Yeah. And that's really great with this deck too.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, given the one drops a bunch of pluses, here I'm basically just setting up to push hard on you. I don't really care about your Android 13 at this point. I would just be wasting resources and attacks swinging into it. So at this point, I might as well just push your lead. I'm kind of at the point in the game where I want to push.
Yeah.
I want to go as heavy as possible. My Warp blocker Gogeta ate the Android 21 scheme, so I get to keep my blocker standing instead of being tempted to swing with it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of works in my favor too, but not entirely. Because I would have much rather preferred had the extra 16k attack on this turn.
And unfortunately, I did have to awaken during your combo step. I mean, during your turn, only because I knew I couldn't continue surviving those attacks of where I was going to be at.
Yeah, especially if you left your leader at 10k, even the clone tokens become threatening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really like Gogeta because it's a different type of aggro. It's not the very linear aggro you used to seeing. Like you can, with those 6-drop Gogetas, you can pay 1 energy back, to get two 1-drops of Vegeta and a Son Goku out, and then you plus them with Pikkon. You can plus them with the leader, so you have 4 more. You can have 4 more attacks after you swing with those 2 that are all 15k.
At least.
Yeah.
And also they're good pressure pieces because even if you're not using them to swing, the Gokus make your opponent warp if your opponent activates counter. Mm-hmm. And the Vegeta, specifically against blue, will punish for your opponent restanding energy with a non-awakened skill.
Yeah. Then you have the 2 uniques that have one has double strike, one has crit.
Yeah.
So you just got a lot of options.
Yeah. So here we see the counter punish Goku and the crit Vegeta.
Knowing I just picked a negate up too.
Yeah. And that was kind of my thought, is if you're going to continue, if you're going to negate, I'm going to start ripping cards out of your hand, which is just advantage for me.
Yeah.
Long term. So I can't remember. I think I do continue to push a little bit here. Your leader's at 20,000, so I do have to combo here. I really want you to take this crit or combo out. And I think in the first turn, I ended up milling the tag team Son Gohan, the SS3 from Draft Box 1. I'm actually taking that out to put in 1 Champa for the double strike. Because the Champa would be really good on that Vegeta, and it would be really good on that SS4 Goku.
Yeah. I sent a bean, which allowed you to practically stop pushing.
Yeah.
Okay, you only had 1 more attack left after that. Potentially, you could have probably tapped another black energy to bring out another Goku and Vegeta from your warp if you had them.
Yeah, I definitely could have done that. I could have also, if I had another Gogeta in hand, I could have attacked with another Gogeta in hand. But really, you're getting up into the higher edges of your energy range. And I know that your ability to start playing out bigger things is going to become more and more likely. Plus, the double strike on your Unison is an inevitability at this point. It's either going to happen this turn or in your next turn. And I want to make sure I'm ready to defend against that.
Yeah, and that's a lot of pressure with you at 4 life.
Yeah.
I do remember also I would have gladly have negated against that attack instead, but obviously I didn't have another 16 in my hand. So I'm in a tough situation because if I had 7 energy, I could have played the 17 for my drop. Bad Omen, played the 2 17s on the board. That way I have some form of combo control against you as well with those heavier swings.
Yep.
But I just didn't have another Android 16 in my hand.
It's unfortunate.
I've been watching this Android 21 deck. I still don't know what its goal currently is. I know you probably play the 21 from the starter deck,
Yeah.
for deck.
So I play Bad Omen as one solution. Super 17 plus Bad Omen causes a wide board that rips battle cards and life from your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I get to 8 energy, I drop to 17-18.
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So
Okay.
it's basically a control deck where you can play one of your boss monsters from your energy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Super 17 can be played from your energy using 7 energy.
Yep.
Yep. And I am focusing on Bancroft's energy. I know he has one Bad Omen there. So it is a factor in my mind as to whether he continues to charge those, because I know he could potentially play 3 from his energy.
Yes.
And then if he decides to take it a turn slower in other games, not in the game we're currently looking at, he can kill with the 17 and 18 battle card from, oh my gosh, what's it called? Battle Evolution,
Yes.
excuse me.
Yeah, we were just talking
And,
about it. I like that card a lot.
I've been a fan of the 21 deck pretty much since Bancroft first brought it to locals, and I kind of jacked his list famously. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna need more time and to see more of it played before I know exactly what I'm gonna put in my
Yeah,
list.
and that's why I'm still working on it. Like, I haven't fully fleshed it out yet to where I like it. Me and Fluff tested the day before the tournament, and then I made some changes that morning to the deck before I went to the tournament.
So, how do you feel about the clone tokens overall?
Truth be told, this deck, as of where it stands, they give me a draw and reset energy during my opponent's turn. They play the 16 to the board, and that's about it. And that's why, seeing the interaction, how many clone tokens go on the board, started making me thinking of one of 2 different options going. Me and Fluff talked about potentially building a version, and it might be 18 instead of 21 though. This version, where it incorporates what's the 4-drop extra card?
So here, real quick, I purposefully took the Android 13 down to 1 counter so you could not freely God Sealing Technique trunks me.
Yes,
but you had a solution still.
I still have 5 energy. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah. So, but I wanted to make you use that energy, even if that means you're going to send 2 cards on my field back to my hand. You did end up not doing anything there, but I think you do a little bit later.
Yeah,
utilize that open energy. Sorry, continue your thought. I just wanted to point that out as a strategic thing.
Because I was thinking, I can't remember the timing. You played the 6-drop Goku before I had 2, right?
No, I played it after.
That's right.
I played it after I got you down to 1. I will say there, I bumped up the Goku with the leader skill digging for something, and that Goku that I bumped up was the first Goku that I played. So you'll see that I try to swing with it, and Bancroft corrects me. It's like, that was the first card you played this time.
Yeah.
So it does stop me.
Real quick, Bancroft.
Yeah.
I have an idea that sounds so crazy, but it just might work. You saw one of those free play cards from the clone tokens?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, use that free cell and then go into Perfect Force Cell to evolve.
Does
you
Perfect Force
could.
require a green cell?
That's mine. It does not, because I looked it up a while back when I wanted to play Android 21 when it was first announced. Because I was like, Perfect Force Cell! It just requires a cell.
You're already in green.
That's a solution. What I was referring to also is, Fluff, what is the 4-drop extra card?
I think it's Return of Justice, I think.
But use that to play the 5-drop Frieza. And your opponent has mass potentially a board of clone tokens. You swing.
Yeah.
Mills 2 for everyone, right?
I think so, yes.
So yeah, here's what it is. You were playing the clone. You're playing your cards.
The 1 drops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I counterplayed it, and then I told you to swing. I don't think I sent anything back because I don't want you.
You sent back the You sent back the 2 targets that were coming in, but then you chose to not send anything else back.
Yes, well, also
because
I can't choose anything 6 or over. It has to be 5 or under, and I don't want you. You had the energy to play the 1-drops for afterward. I'm like, I can't. No.
Yeah. So instead, I'll just Union Fusion again and put out some pressure there. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and tap out now because I'm pretty sure your hand is pretty low at this point.
Yeah.
And I feel relatively confident that I can kill you. I mess up here. I just kind of was like, it doesn't matter what Vegeta I put in because I've got a Vegeta in hand. So I put my super combo back in the drop area on the fusion target. And then when I went to go play 2 battle cards, I didn't have a 1-drop Vegeta in the drop area. So I can only play the Goku. Had you been able to negate that Goku, you would have probably won that match.
Also, if I would have potentially counterplayed one of your earlier 1-drops, you may not have had the energy to do that at that final push.
Might not have. Yep.
So I chose poorly on. I didn't want to send back a 1-drop that you could turn around and just replay it. But thinking back on it, that was 1 energy less you would have had potentially.
Yeah, and I expected a lot more counterplay on your behalf throughout the game. Like, it was something that I was constantly kind of keeping in my mind. And, like, you did a really good job of keeping the PyCon off the field. You kept me from activating the free play a 6-drop Union Fusion from the Warp with PyCon. But I was still able to basically play a PyCon anytime that I wanted one. But I was using the 1-drops to try to bait out your different counterplays. Because if you let me keep the 1-drops, I just advantage on them.
Yeah,
if
correct.
If you burn your negates, it sets me back, but that's 1 fewer negate or counterplay that I have to work through later.
I do know in this particular match, I think I only saw 18 one time, which really hurt. I don't even remember if I saw a Dimension match. I might have seen it one time as well. Like, I didn't see a lot of things I would have liked to have seen as well, which could have prolonged those matches or that game. But it is what it is. So,
yeah, I got set back a lot too in that game. Like, really, this deck wants to kill around turn 4, depending on how everything shakes out. So it's not a Zerg win on turn 2, turn 3 type of deck, but it's a you want to get things going on turn 2. Turn 3 is a pressure turn, maybe a pivot turn. Turn 4 is going to be control and then massive aggro. Turn 5 is control and massive aggro. So it just kind of depends. I don't play a secret rare in that deck. The only thing that I play is the 5-drop Dark Prince from set 12. I play one of... What is it?
I don't think that deck needs a secret rare.
No.
It totally does not. I considered playing Heroine's Lineage in it, but it doesn't need it.
I think that's more of like a nice to have than something you need for that deck.
It's kind of win more.
Yeah.
So,
a little contingency plan.
Yeah.
And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Like I said, there's buttons. Click them. They're there for a reason. Jake, last words.
If you want to win, you have to practice. And if you don't have time to practice, maybe watch more videos here on Attack on Productions.
Austin?
Click the buttons. Do it.
And Fluff, would you lead us out?
One of my favorite quotes over the weekend at Locals was, I think it was mine and it was someone's game off camera. But one of the newer guys was sitting there next to us while we were playing. And so I was sitting there. Bancroft was sitting right next to me. The dude is playing Bancroft, and he looks at both of our fields, and he was like, "You two are crazy. I need you to help us build a deck." and it was like, "Yeah, watch our channel, dude." And then we told them about, TCG player and stuff like that, because they're relatively new to the game.
Yeah.
So it was funny just because he was like, "You two are crazy. I need your help. You need to help me build a deck."
Help me.
It's like a scene out of an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Like a comic book movie line. I need your help.
I will say that was the game where I managed to play all my 16s.
Yeah.
and like it was just I had a board of just 16s and hits and 18s and Xenos on the board. Like,
yep. That round 2 game. I won't give away round 3 because I'm back on camera for the 3rd round this week. But round 2, I think I just ended up like storming him out. I think I had like 7 1-drops on the field when I closed the game out. It was crazy. But like always, guys, if you like what you saw, leave us a like, comment, YouTube stuff. Read your cards, know your plays. Fluff out.